It's a gorgeous day, but I'm filming. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a lovely day. For today's video, I wanted to take it back to something I mentioned in a previous video. So in a previous video I talked about how I got my laptop, I got it all set up. You can see the monitor here, all set up nicely. And with this, I got a time tracker. With this monitor setup, I downloaded a free time tracker on my laptop to track my time. And it has been over a month since then, and I have some thoughts that I want to share. So the time tracker I downloaded is called Toggle Track. It is a pretty simple setup. It wasn't too difficult to figure out. And the way that I currently use it is I have different little genres. So I have things for my YouTube, vertical short form, my writing, school, and within each of those sections I can name it something. So under YouTube I have a film, and then I have an edit, just as an example. And all I do is I go to the very top, I type in what I'm doing. So like right now it is currently set for YouTube filming. I click on that and it immediately starts a timer, so I know how long I am working. I really like this app because it also has a phone app. So if I'm doing something that usually doesn't involve the computer, like filming, I don't have to turn the computer on, start the timer, then do it to have it count. I can just simply go onto the app on my phone and start it there. I also like the phone app because you can actually see a total for the amount of hours you worked that week. So if you are trying to make sure, like me, you're not working over too many hours a week, that's a great way to kind of track that. So now that I've explained all that, I'm going to hop into week 1. So week 1, I was still doing my summer work, and I thought it would be a good time to try it because, of course, like I said before, I had just gotten the laptop, just gotten my whole setup done, and I thought it would be really good. Before, I had been doing it on paper. I don't really know why, I just did. But I realized it would probably be a little bit better to get one on my laptop for the future. Originally, I was working about 24 hours a week, and that was with my summer class, along with all of my other work that I normally do. And I had that set as the goal. That was the minimum amount of hours I had to work that week in my head. Which might not sound too crazy, but it didn't really work super well, which I'll explain a little bit later in the future weeks. But for this week, it was really fun. I had a lot of fun using the time tracker, testing it out, seeing what I liked, what I didn't. And one big thing that I personally didn't like was the calendar. So in the Toggle Track app, there is a calendar where you can schedule out certain time slots for your different activities, but you don't get like a notification like you do on like GCal, where it'll send you a notification like 10 minutes before, like you have a meeting at 3 p.m. and you can just work over that time and not even notice it and be late to whatever it is you're doing. So I wasn't as big a fan of that. I don't really use the calendar in the app. I use it the way that I explained it, and it works a lot better for me, but it is there if you wanted it. So week 2 was a little bit smoother. I had just discovered the phone app, and that I love it, and that I was going to be using it moving forward. But I was starting to experience symptoms of burnout, and at first I thought this was because I had just done my junior year, and my junior year kicked my and I really just needed a break, so I wasn't too worried about it, but I could definitely start to recognize some of those symptoms because I've had burnout before, and I've kind of helped myself get through that, so I recognize a lot of the symptoms within myself. But I was very efficient with my time. I knew that I had to start at this time, and I would be ending at this time, and I would need breaks for my lunch and my dinner, and I wanted to go out for a walk, so I had to calculate that in, and I was very efficient with my time, but it was just a lot for me, and I realized towards the end of the week that yeah, schooling probably had something to do with the burnout, but forcing myself to work more hours than I physically felt I was able to wasn't helping. And so for week 3, I decided to cut back. So week 3, my schooling was over, so I only had the channel and my writing to really work on. And I made the decision to cut back my hours, but also make that the maximum hours. So doing this, I went from trying to work 20 hours. Oh my god, there's so many cars. Starting again. Doing this, I went from trying to work a minimum of 20 hours a week to 20 hours a week being the most I worked. So having that switch, it meant that if I only worked 15 hours because I wasn't feeling very well and I needed some extra time for rest, to recuperate and all of those things, I could do that. And it was okay. And this was really helpful because I also got quite sick during this time. You guys might have noticed I missed an upload, and that was because I had gotten sick and I needed some extra time. There are so many people outside today. I don't blame them, it's a gorgeous day, but I'm filming. But yeah, if you have a disability, I definitely recommend tracking your time to make sure that you're not going over a maximum amount of hours, but also recognizing that you might have to work less hours one week than the other because you're having a flare-up or something. So week 4, the final week, I have definitely fine-tuned how I like to use this app, how I'm going to be using it moving forward, and it has been wonderful. Now week 4 was technically the least amount of work I got done in the whole month. I think that week I worked maybe 5 hours total, which isn't a lot, but it meant that I had a lot more time to rest and to recuperate and to really just let myself breathe after the stress of my junior year, giving myself some time before I start my senior year. And also this was before July, so giving myself a little bit of time also to get ready for all of those videos. I definitely had a lot of fun. I really enjoy using this time tracker, and I highly recommend tracking your time, especially if you work for yourself or you're a student and you have to make sure that you get your work done.
It's 1 p.m. It's time for lunch. Remember to wash your hands.
It's been a minute since Google interrupted me. I hope you enjoyed that. If you're a student or you work for yourself, I definitely recommend tracking your time just to make sure you're not going over a certain amount of hours, because overworking is a really big problem that a lot of people go through. And if you're tracking your time, then you know how much time you are spending doing certain things. So it could be helpful. Since that month of me kind of watching it, my week 4 experience has kind of been the overall experience, where I've been just trying to get the work done that I need to get done. If I want to do more, I will. If I don't want to do more, I'm not going to force myself, because my health comes first, and one of the best ways to take care of my health is to make sure that I'm not overworking myself and I get some of that downtime that I need. So yeah, that was my video. I hope you enjoyed it. please let me know down below, do you track your time? Did this inspire you to start tracking your time? Let me know. Please like and subscribe. It really helps me out, and I will see you next week for another video.